Joey here with another update. Subscribe, hit like, share, subscribe, yes, and donate if you would like to, because I've got things to pay for to make this channel better. We got this morning strong winds hammering up towards Vancouver Island, up into Vancouver, up into even towards the Whistler area. Strong winds in the central interior this morning. We had a short power outage, I don't know when, overnight. And of course, concern later today is those strong winds moving up into the Peace region and creating damaging 70 to 90 kilometer an hour gusts and things like that there. Zonal jets Notorious YEG and Burge from Avalanche Canada are saying this morning, the atmospheric river has made its way to the BC coast, bringing with it a lot of precipitation and some seriously strong winds. Vancouver Island and Southern Coast Mountains are in for a wild ride with rain amounts ranging 50 to 100 millimeters, wet snow expected above 1,000 meter elevation. The front associated with the ER will pass through the south coast around 4 o'clock this afternoon. As the parent low moves across the northwest coast this afternoon, it will spread heavy snow through the area. Coastal ranges can expect 20 to 50 centimeters of snow, while inland areas will see 10 to 20 centimeters. The strong southwesterly flow aloft will carry some moisture over the southern Caribous and North Columbia region today, resulting in light snow amounts. Freezing levels rising to 2,000 meters for the interior mountain range. As the front moves over the BC interior this evening, moderate snow amounts are expected across the interior ranges tonight. On Monday, the disturbance will hold the front stationary over the southern interior ranges, bringing heavy precipitation in the regions. In general, 15 to 25 millimeters of precipitation is expected, with local amounts up to 50 millimeters near the Nelson area. So our watches and special weather statements haven't changed a whole lot today since yesterday when we reviewed this. The big change right now is that Haida Gwaii is no longer under wind warnings. And this evening, 70 kilometer an hour, gusting to 90 kilometers, risk of falling tree branches and things like that in the BC Peace River region. The cold front moving across BC will bring strong winds to the region. It will shift to southwest winds, 70 kilometers, gusting to 90 early this evening, then ease off later in the evening. Utility outages may occur, power outages, don't be surprised. So be ready, have your candles ready, things like that in the piece for when this big wind does make it to you. And we continue to have heavy rainfall expected in the south central interior, Arrow Lake, Slocan Lakes, things like that. Highway 3, Paulson Summit, Kootenay Pass, Kootenay Lake, Elk Valley, 30 to 60 millimeters of rain tonight through Tuesday morning. This could rise freezing levels. Melting snow may increase at river flows and give localized flooding. That's the concern. Frontal system approaching tonight in southwest flow. System will stall over the Kootenay region Monday, bringing prolonged periods of rain until Tuesday morning. 20 to 50 millimeters. 80 millimeters expected for western inland Vancouver Island. Rising freezing levels with melting snow will give increased river flows and possible localized flooding. Winds gusting 50 to 70 in the Strait of Georgia. Exposed coastal areas of West Vancouver Island may even see 90 kilometers an hour. Steady rain continues as the second Pacific system arrives. And we see that wind warning East Vancouver Island, the Neuse Bay, Campbell River, Sunshine Coast, 70 to 90 kilometer an hour gusts. So watch out for power outages and falling tree branches and things like such. So people are asking me about these maps. Once again, these are GFA, Graphic Forecast Area maps that are issued. And this is the stuff that pilots look forward to. So I'll try to dissect this just quickly for you, give you kind of an idea. This red here is the warm front moving through. We can see we got a cold front right behind it. Here's where the lows are, and we know lows move counterclockwise. So that's bringing all the moisture in from around. That's where our weather comes from. We see the green hatching here is heavy rain precipitation and such. We go forward. There's a chance, this little red icon, chance of a thunderstorm, right? That chance of thunderstorm increases into northern interior, into Mackenzie, Prince George, Quesnel, places like that later this afternoon in about 6 hours time maybe. So late this afternoon, 4, 5, 6 o'clock probably. Again, we have blue line being cold front. Here we have occluded front. So the cold and the warm are kind of stuck against each other here. We have the warm front moving up to the Peace. That brings the heavy winds. What else is important here? We see these music notes with four lines on it. That's 40 knot steady winds. So that's strong coastal winds. So each line on these notes represents 10 knots when you see that. So those are important for pilots. Intermittent cloud cover, whereas on the coast, chance of towering cumulus, some broken clouds, 10,000 feet, 5,000 bottom. So that's the ceiling and the whatnot, isolated towering cumulus. So we could see some thunderstorm activity, possibly not looking great, but that is occasional chance of that as well up through the north, right? Broken cumulus and frequent towering cumulus we see here on the map. So those are things to look for. Just some of the many things this map tells you. And these maps, they come out 3 times a day and they give us sort of the best idea as to what's coming next. They aren't for long range forecasting. It's for pilots to look at and get a good idea. And into the evening, we see that cold front sweeps right across. That'll drop some temperatures down just a little bit. Sunday, 11 a.m., pounding rain in the middle of Vancouver Island and a bit of a mix of slushy, rainy stuff like that. Into the coast mountains, possible actual snow through the day, but rain on all sides of it. So you see rain and freezing rain and mixed precipitation. Quesnel, 7 p.m. this evening, you're probably seeing a bit of mix of mostly rain up here towards Wells, maybe a bit of rain, probably some snow up towards Bear Lake again, mix between Prince George and Vanderhoof, 7 p.m. There's probably a possibility some sleet, slush, icy conditions. That moves into the evening when the temperatures drop just a little bit. We'll switch ahead a couple hours. So the Carib, some of these places, Williams Lake, Quesnel, Hicks, and Prince George, you're not getting a great deal of snow and rain necessarily. So keep that in mind. I also want to speak to the idea of the atmospheric river. This is not a Category 5 atmospheric river. This is a low level one. So it is bringing intense precipitation into the province. However, it's not to the scale of the 2021 event that was a full-on atmospheric river. So you have to understand that these terms aren't meant to scare you. It's to give you a really good idea, a visual idea of a river in the atmosphere. Instead of calling it a pineapple express, a tropical express, or anything like that, because not all atmospheric rivers are generated from tropical places. Maybe in BC, the majority we see here are, but that's not always the case with ARs. So we don't want to call them pineapple expresses and things anymore. Maybe that's a good term for here in BC, but across the board globally, there's a new term, and we're going to keep using it. And that new term is like 30 plus years old, so it's not that new. That unsettled weather breaking a little bit overnight tonight in northern BC, coastal BC Terrace. Lots of precipitation. Monday, 9 a.m., we see that again coming into southern interior. So everybody, Revelstoke, Cranbrook, Trail, Kelowna, you're going to see mixes of precipitation, probably changing to rain as the day warms a little bit, especially in the lower areas where people tend to live, right? So the big concern is when you're traveling on your Easter travels on Monday at 5 p.m. and everywhere in the southern interior is just a bunch of bad weather. Right, you may be going through mountain passes that have fog and cloud and mix of precipitation and slush and runoff from melt and things like that. So the good news is we are seeing a bit of a change, and as we get towards next weekend, we do have Tuesday again, mix of weather all through BC. We'll talk about that in the coming days. Possibility of thunderstorms widespread. So this could be on Tuesday when we get our first severe thunderstorm watches. I'm just guessing by the widespread nature of that and by how cold some of these temperatures are still in behind. That'll be a good clash line. So we're going to watch that over the next few days and see how that develops. Wednesday overnight, Caribou getting heavy precipitation at times, depending where you are. So you're driving through 97 at night, look out. And that's coming from the north down. So it's going to be cooler and it's going to have more likelihood of snow. Mix of precipitation all over. So, it's not a happy week for us, but some of the possibilities of that warmer weather for the second half of April, we do see it in the long range. We might not see it on today's look, but as we get towards next weekend more and more and beyond, I'm feeling like there is better things still in store for BC. But let's just get through the next couple days and see what we are at then and see how the long range weather updates, because my impression is that pretty soon by Sunday we're already going to be in much nicer weather. People have been asking me, when is that When is it coming? Okay, so probably by next weekend, we're going to see warmer and warmer weather in British Columbia. So get through this week. Better stories are ahead. Okay, and hey, whatever you do, if you have, I do need support. That's what I need. So hit subscribe, hit share, hit like, be my friend, and we'll see you next time here on the channel. Thanks, everyone. Bye.